welcome to Bella and I's studio. Today, we're going to show you a video of us working on a project. The project is a comic book theme project. Takes me back to what got me interested in art when I was young. A milestone I hit when I was younger as a teenager. So I'm using Posca pens. I got the brush grind, and I got the really small nib. Yeah, and how that's translated into today, into lots of hours of line art and practicing my control. We're accompanied here today by Miss Bella, Queen of Parnell House. She is the star. I'm just the host. She is who has inspired me a lot. She's inspired me a lot, to pursue what I enjoy doing. She's my best friend. We spend all our time together. All the holidays, all the birthdays, all the moments, are me and hers. And I like to capture those in art. So it's been a long time coming to come out with my ideas and show the world my mind and see who, see who identifies with that and who wants to be a part of that journey. This channel is for everyone, artists, inspiring artists, people that are alone for the holidays, that are looking for a family. It's Bella and I, and we welcome everybody, and we're honored by the opportunity to share what we enjoy. I have these cool ones. They're called Sharpie Creative Markers. Sharpie Creative Markers. I haven't used these yet. So this is the first day that I got the Posca pen. So this is the first page on my new sketchbook. But yeah, this is where I started, I got the inspiration. My intention was to do a video a week, at least. But when I go into flare up with HS, it really takes a lot out of me and keeps me from being able to do the things I love to do. But I'm getting ready to see a specialist Thursday, so hopefully these things will all change. I've lived with the disease all my life. I was just recently diagnosed with it, so yeah, it can be tough for sure. It's been tough living with it. Hasn't been fun. Anything but that. Like I said, my intentions is to put out a video a week. And I want to get to that point. And I will. We will. Me and Bella will. But today, I'm filming on my bed. You'll see clips here on my bed. I'm going to film the rest of the video in the study, or in the studio. But you'll see clips of it here, because this is where I feel the most comfortable right now. So I am going to do a theme here, kind of a comic book theme, really. I just had this radical idea. I have some cool frames that I'm not using, so I generally use for puzzles, larger puzzles. But I'm going to use the frame to tell a story. I have all these different sections that are different sizes, like this panel that I'm working on here. You'll see it outlined. So I'm thinking something, as I go, for sure. But I already know what this first panel is going to look like. At least in my mind's eye idea. I got a pretty good idea. So, yeah. Sorry. Sometimes turning the paper like that for me helps me just see things that I might have missed otherwise. I guess it's looking at my picture from all different angles real quick. Scooter rides to doing art, working in different mediums, to just day-to-day life and discussions about things. I like to put out a video a week. 2 if I can. With HS flare-ups, it's difficult because HS can take you out. It can debilitate you in a way that I'm unable to do any of those things. I am going to see a specialist this Thursday, and I'm excited about that because I was only recently diagnosed with HS, even though I've lived with it all my life. Along with the HS in 2016, I fell 35 feet while painting a house and landed on my feet. And I have bilateral calcaneal type 4 Sanders fractures, which, and I broke my left hand. I popped several metacarpals from my left hand here. I've had surgery on both areas multiple times. So yeah, with the event of being diagnosed with HS, it was tough. I've had a tough go at it for sure, but I definitely have a passion. I've been dealt a cool, a good hand for all that. So I am thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful that I'm able to do this, and I'm thankful that I'm given the mind and the heart to do so. So I'm honored. I enjoy drawing, and I hope you guys do enjoy drawing as much as I do. And I hope you have a little furry buddy that can keep you company. But these times specifically, during the holidays and stuff, it can be really tough for people, especially if you might have just became, you might have just ended up in a situation where you might have to spend the holidays alone, or you're not used to it. You don't know what to expect. The holidays can be tough, but the thing is we have each other. You have a place here with our channel, with Bella and I, to come hang out, to learn something, or just hang out and have fun, or maybe teach somebody something. There's lots of cool things and benefits of hanging out. We have each other, so whenever you celebrate it, celebrate it. So, me and Bella, we just like to hang out and do our thing. So in whatever capacity that might be. So whether it's art, whether it's watching a good movie, or just relaxing. So what I like to do is I like to come in with the dark, and just on this Posca pens are pretty unique in that they're really opaque, so they cover really well. And if you go in when it's still wet, you can end up with a good a blending effect. So it can really make your drawing sort of unique. So what I'll do is I'll go in with dark and sometimes a little light. There's no really rhyme or reason. I try to look at the overall picture with my eye, and sometimes I need to just sort of maybe look at it holistic and sort of think where just perhaps maybe some of my lights are gonna be, or some of my darks. How am I gonna present this? Am I gonna try to stack it? Am I gonna try to put the lights where the darks are in here? Kind of give the impression that hey, there's some transition here. It's not always what it appears to be. You have to sort of pay attention, maybe do your own little investigation, and let your eyes be drawn to different locations to get, the most informed impression, for you. I mean, what does that look like? Maybe we're just we're gonna put something in here. Maybe it's not gonna be finalized. Maybe I'm gonna come back in here with some dark, the dark blue or something, and reestablish maybe a few dark tones that I want there. But I'm not gonna do it right now because sometimes when you're drawing, when you're creating something, when you have something in your mind's eye, okay, let's say that you want to put out onto your surface, onto your substrate, onto your whatever you're drawing on, and sometimes just putting everything you see in one spot in your mind's eye, to rush to get it done isn't always the best approach. Sometimes the best thing to do is to get little bits and pieces of information established, in different places, so that when you are creating the values in certain areas, they tend to reveal themselves a lot more just because of all the information. And it really is canny. Their information doesn't have to be precise. Again, I'm not going to make this precise. This isn't my final cut on here. With the values, I'm using 3 different colors: dark blue, light blue to light, so that I can create these shadows in the 3D effect. But it's not final. I want to get some more information in here so that I could see this better. If that makes sense. I don't know. That's how I work when I'm seeing things. It's why I jump around a lot when I'm painting something. I don't start in one corner and then just kind of go clear across. Generally it's me bouncing around a lot because what I'm doing, just naturally, really, is trying to get some information put into different places so that I can make sense of everything. That's how I work from my mind's eye. Now, if I came in here and maybe I had an image already maybe I transferred an image. Maybe I did something on my digital iPad or something. I did some digital art and I want to transfer it onto here. That's a different thing. That's a different way of drawing, of seeing things, but it is similar. You can use similar practices in going from different places to different places just so that you can get the good solid feel of what color needs to be there, for the right shadow effect, because, different colors are going to look different in different areas, whether they're muted or they're vibrant or, whatever's going on. So for me, like I said, I'll get some color in here. This isn't final. I'm going to get some more information in different areas before I commit to this. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get this information in different areas. Then I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to start putting values in here little by little. I'm not going to do it all at once. I'm just going to, see a couple values in here. I'm going to put them in there. And then I'll come back over here to either side over here or up here. I'll be drawn to different areas so that, because I'll see things as I uncover them from creating values and doing different things in different areas of my painting, or my drawing. And this drawing is done with Posca pens. It's acrylic ink, fast drying ink. These are the brush set, and then I have some nibs over here. Really small nibs. I think they're 0.7 millimeter, which is pretty tiny. So fine detail type stuff, but same colors. And I'm doing a comic book type illustration. I have a larger picture frame that has a bunch of little different sized cutouts, like this one here. This is next to this, so this would be the main cutout. So I'll draw something like, okay, this story that I'm getting ready to tell is going to take place in the city, and it's going to have to do with some cool things like UFOs and cats and people that live in this city and different, what do the aliens look like? What are their intentions? And I'll tell the story through probably 42 panels, I believe, different size panels like this. So there's this size panel, then there'll be this size panel, then there'll be a bunch of little tiny squares, but so it can all tell a story throughout the whole project. And I want to be careful how many layers I go down. This is new to me, so I chose this paper after trying 2 different other kinds of paper. A much more expensive paper and a much cheaper version of paper but a heavier weight. And what I've noticed is right in the middle, right in the happy medium, falls this paper, which is a cheaper paper I got from Walmart. But it's thick enough and heavy enough that it holds the wetness of these markers real well, because I do plan on hitting this with a varnish. Maybe just one coat. I don't want the paper to really buckle real bad. I mean, it's not a piece of art I'm gonna go sell, but it's for me. Maybe I should have never even said that it's not a piece of art that I'm going to go sell. It's just for me. Because the thing is I won't sell it for anything less than something, I want to look really nice. So I have examples of this that I've probably done 3 or 4 times, where I've gotten a lot of buckling, and that's due to the paper that I chose to do it on. So it's all trial and error. And Posca pens are new to me, so this is trial and error to me. A lot of this kind of paper and stuff I use for color pencils, so I don't do a lot of acrylic or any kind of wet medium on it. In fact, usually my wet mediums are reserved for canvas. So this is new to me, but I want to do something fun and engaging, and this project's been on my mind for a while, so I really want to do it. And it's going to be about Bella. It's going to be a comic about Bella set in a city with aliens. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, all right? Whatever you're doing, it's just going to make your paint be cleaner and stuff. So I want to get some windows like I have over here. So let's do that. I'm not going to be real picky on how much of this stuff I put in here, because it's in the background. Yeah, no. Nice little bit of color in there. Yeah, these nibs are a little flexible. I haven't tried the Sharpie ones to see what, the difference would be yet. I just haven't had the reason to yet. They are a smaller pen, which I think might be kind of cool, because they're not so big. So when you're coming in here trying to do fine detail, you're holding something a lot smaller versus the Posca. So yeah, there's that. Now what I'm going to do while that's drying up there, I'm going to come down here and throw some color in here. I see a lot of yellow. And some oranges and dark reds, kind of like how we have with our water there. We want to make some transitions like that. So, or some colors like that, and we want it to transition like that. So we're going to come up underneath the dark and kind of put it out here. I don't know why, I just feel that's the direction we need to go with it. And now I'm trying to think of the overall composition. Alright. I want it to all be sort of linear here. So. Huh. Um, I'll be coming with this orange here a little bit. Alright, if it kind of does this thing, I don't think that, I sort of want to stay up underneath it. So maybe we'll go like this. And just kind of make our presence known underneath it. So. Underneath the highlights. Almost like we're reverse painting. So, yeah. And you can go back and forth that way, too. So, I mean, your hints in there. This is just getting some information in there. We don't want to overdo it. Even if it doesn't look right to us, don't overdo it. Don't spend too much time there. Like, I am almost spending too much time here. So, there it is. I'm going to leave it there for a second because I'm going to start going into the sky. But I'm going to tie up this horizon. And this ain't done down here. This is just information. So, at least I don't think it's done. Anyways, I'm going to move up into this area and start painting my blue. And here I can do anything I want. I mean, it could be anything I want to be. I can create whatever I want to create. It's limitless. It's entirely up to me. Now, if you make a mistake, what's really cool with these pens, I mean, you're not going to erase anything. You're not going to whip out your magic eraser or anything like that. But you're going to think in terms like, you can go back over something. So like right here, for me, I, hit the side of that building. Now, you shouldn't be pointing out the obvious, but a lot of artists don't do this kind of thing. For me, I, in my mind's eye, what I'm going to do to make that crisp, because I always like my foregrounds of things to be real sharp, I'm going to go back over all these edges with my black and my purple again, to go back against the blue. So, once I get the blue to where I want it, it's just simple. I mean, it takes time. It takes a little bit of time, but, if you want something to look nice, or, the best it could look, you do have to spend some time with it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not always. You have some kind of, maybe you've got a certain pattern or, an idea that you do over and over again that, you can whip out in no time. But if you're just studying and you're just, checking stuff out and giving things a go, you're generally not as proficient with it as, as if you spent, decades or, a lot of time with something. I mean, I think whenever you pick up a new medium, like Posca pens being a new medium for me, it's not, well, I guess Posca pen. I guess this wouldn't be a completely new medium, right? I mean, I'm used to acrylics. I know that they dry sort of fast. But it is a new medium in that, there's a lot of techniques that aren't good. With this, like trying to blend and things like that. You just, you're not going to get that sort of freedom that you would get if you were going wet and wet, or, if you're airbrushing. So, you learn, like I'm a coder. I like to solve problems. When you're coding something, it's similar in that, you're gonna code a certain way the project that adheres to all the basic principles and best practices of coding, so that other people, can read your code and make changes. Or, it's fluent, it's consistent, it's pretty, it's a piece of art. That kind of thing. Art's the same way. So you have Posca pens, you have airbrushing, you have colored pencils, you have everything that has its own place. But when you combine them into, let's say one piece of art, or, one project, or, you're approaching a project a certain way because you see it a certain way. All these different mediums are all your tools of the trade. They're all your expression. They're your way of being able to express yourself a certain way that you want to express yourself. So, I use airbrush and heavy acrylics often. I mean, I use that medium together a lot. And with this, I can already see where Posca pens can come in real handy. Coloring whiskers in with the white, since the white's so darn opaque. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's hard to get with, titanium white. It really is. So, using Liquitex. So, or airbrushing it or anything like that, it's really hard to get that, coverage. So, why not use, something like a Posca pen to help make that, that dream become a reality, right? I mean, it's all about creating art that doesn't hurt. And I think the more free you are to express yourself, I think the closer you are to the truth when you're creating your art. Because when we're creating something, we're telling a story, and our story's got to tell the truth. At least for me. There's lots of different stories that can be told out there. I like happy stories. Anyways, we continue to tell our stories, no matter what, right? No matter what the cost. Sometimes, sometimes the cost of something is irrelevant in the larger scheme of things, I guess. Yeah. Posca pens can be a lot of fun. I mean, there's just, it's liberating to be able to just draw and put stuff, the paint right where you want it. I mean, that's why I like airbrushing. I like to be able to have that sort of control. I guess as an artist, it'd be instant gratification for an artist. I mean, you got all different kinds of stuff. Look at oil. Look how long oil takes to dry. For an artist, that's, it's okay. I mean, it depends. Depends on how you're doing. I guess you would adjust to it. I've never really worked in that medium, so I would imagine, you have a lot of patience. I mean, you gotta have patience anyway. Patience is usually a byproduct of something halfway decent to look at when you're drawing. So if you don't have patience, it comes across that way. With your drawing, it just does. So, a lot of things. Let's see. What helps you with your drawing? I think it's more than just coloring something in, or, you know, creating something from your imagination or your perspective, your foregoing knowledge things, to give things that 3D effect and feel like it's in your face, or being pushed away from you. These kinds of different effects. I think that being able to tap into something like that, I think a lot of it has to do with how much time you spend with it. So what I mean by that is do you practice? Do you do anything to, outside of just dreaming about doing it, to actually doing it? So, I mean, you could dream about it, for sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a dreamer. Dreaming's fun. I daydream all the time. I'm a daydreamer. In fact, I mean, it's a sort of morphine, I guess, to dream, to just stay in that state um, of just, you know, dreaming about doing something. It's easier, I guess, than actually doing it, right? I mean, that's obvious. But it still has its merit, I guess, is what I'm saying. Because, I mean, it still feels good to dream about winning the lottery, right? You actually have to win the lottery for it to actually have some kind of effect on you. And you can dream about it. I mean, if that's your thing, if money's your thing. I use that as an example because, I don't know if people identify with that. I wouldn't mind winning the lottery. There's been times in my life I've spent time grandiose illusioning, if that's even a word. Or at least thinking about, you know, what if I won the lottery. You have a lot of decisions to make, I guess. A lot of important decisions, I imagine. Important decisions that would make sense to make responsibly. Yeah. Always be as responsible as you can with other people's feelings. I think, in fact, I think that if you master that, and all I'm talking about is just, pretty simple, just appreciating people, making sure you don't step on toes, being mindful of other people. I think that if you could show good intentions that way, I think that I just think that life's gonna be easier for you. I think that I hope I'm not coming across too preachy, because I'm definitely none of this comes easy to me. What I'm saying to you is not anything that I mean, I have just 100% ace in any way. So, yeah, don't get the wrong impression here. But, I mean, I'm just thinking, how can we grow together, Well, these would be things that I'd want to, talk about, things that make sense to me, things that, are quiet but loud, because I like the idea of having a voice, of being heard, um, you know, uh, being taken serious. You know, not just heard, but being taken serious would be nice. You know, it'd be nice to be taken serious and not for granted, right? Do the opposite of being taken for granted. So we're gonna go ahead and there we go. That's fine like that. I'm okay with that. To me, that's okay. You know what I mean? To start out, I'm getting the basic shapes here. The basic shapes. And if I don't finish this picture in this take, you know, what we talked about, you know, is a lot of what's going on, you know, today and what it's. I was on a journey. I had to figure out what it was. And when I was finally diagnosed with it, it gives me hope. It gives me a path forward. And you know, other people that are dealing with this disease, welcome, or diseases like it. There's lots of debilitating diseases that people carry with them in their day-to-day lives that really make it hard, make a lot of things hard. So yeah, I have a lot of sympathy with that kind of stuff. So this channel is intended for people that are looking for a sense of family, belonging. You know, I encourage positive feedback in the comment section. You know, we grow from each other, and I think that that's an important aspect that should be a part of any community, any family, establishing their roots. Honesty is important, and we're all welcome. We're all welcome. We're all welcome here. This channel is for friends and family. We're all orphans by circumstance. We're navigating circumstances together, and this is a place we can do that. And I hope to encourage all those who feel they haven't been heard. I read all the comments. And so that video was done on the heels of a flare-up from HS, and it's a debilitating disease. I am seeing a specialist this week, so I'm hopeful. It has been a few weeks since I've uploaded. My intentions is to upload every week, but honestly, I couldn't. Yeah, going forward, I want to manage HS. I want to get this disease under control, manageable, so that I can do my daily things that I enjoy doing with me and Bella, doing them together. You know, I can create art. You know, art should be pain free. It should be painless. And when it's not, it's not. You have to take the good with bad. So, yeah, I don't ever want to lose that inspiration in life. What drives me to, you know, towards my purpose. I still believe my purpose is unchecked, and you know, I believe I'm living it out, and I believe this is all part of it, and I am honored to be able to share that with you guys. This is a place where I consider all of us family. A place where we can talk and exchange ideas, and collaborate, and talk about things that matter. You guys let me know in the comment section, what would you like to see? Would you like to see more in-depth tutorials for different techniques, maybe in different mediums that I've learned over the years. What would you guys like to see? Right now, the weather's turning, so getting on the e-scooter is limited. I have some appointments coming up with specialists to manage my HS, and so some things, I don't feel comfortable right now getting out on my e-scooter, especially in the cold weather. The batteries don't coordinate very well with cold weather. They drain quicker, and you don't get as much out of your batteries that way. So outside activities for me right now are limited. And the spring is right around the corner. It's a few months. We could do, just suggestions, art tutorials, maybe, we can do some draw alongs. We can do different things. You guys gonna have ideas? Let me know in the comment section what those might be. So I'm open to new ideas, and I enjoy trying out different things. I like challenges. Yeah, so let's draw. But I hope you enjoyed that video of the first panel that we're drawing here on this project to set the story of this idea. So yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Do you like the time lapses? I can do time lapses of art, stuff that I draw. Show you different techniques. I think it'd be a blast, and I would like to learn from others as well. So some of my best memories is actually learning from other people, techniques to incorporate in my style, whether it be techniques with shading or line art. Practicing line art is important. Just drawing straight lines is more important than most people realize when they want to learn how to draw. There's different levels of drawing. So if you're just starting out, practicing line art would be more important to you than you'd know at the time, unless somebody told you that. So, and then you incorporate a few different ways of shading to keep that interest, you know, in somebody in their art, because art, you have to feed it. It's not something that just poof, you're Van Gogh. I mean, I guess some people get bumped on the head and they're like Van Gogh, I guess. I don't know. And it does happen. So I forgot what the term is for that. I think it's called, I can't think of the term for it. Anyways, yeah, some people are born with it. It's pretty rare though. So it's definitely something you have to water, and nurture. You wouldn't ask somebody to look at something and say, okay, draw that to see. You'd want to know, there's lots of things that keep that person interested. They're going to try it and they're going to fail and they're not going to like what they're doing. But that's all signs of, you could be the next Van Gogh. I mean, that's as simple as that, because if you learn some basic stuff to keep you interested along the way, but they're actually skills that overall, holistically, create a better confidence, from a foundational point of view, than going out and trying something so difficult and failing at it and being like, oh, I'm no good at this. Well, it's simply not true. You didn't give yourself an opportunity to be able to draw a straight line. So that can take practice. It could take a few days. It could take a while. So practice straight lines. Up, down, sideways, in different directions. Practice point A to point B, straight as you can. Incorporate that into really fast lines to do like a, a stack kind of shading where you gradually space it out, as you're drawing these straight lines to create, a shading effect. Draw a 90-degree angle and then shade it in really dark from the corner out, lighten it up, and then smudge it with your finger and look at the effects it creates. When you learn these little techniques along the way, it creates a sense of interest in you that keeps you going. It's part of feeding your passion appropriately. So yeah, you can't just expect to gorge, and come out feeling well. So if you just take it little by little and take it in and absorb it, mentally, physically, repetitiously, creates a lot of physical attributes, of repetition. Mentally, what are you thinking? What's your thought process? When you're going through this moment of learning something new, or even if you've done it forever and you're just practicing. A lot of times I do that stuff just to warm up before I even do anything, just because I want to know where I'm at. And usually drawing a straight line will tell me where I'm at. Believe it or not, it'll tell me whether or not it's going to be a good day or a bad day. I mean, it's interesting. So just know that. And I'm going to have to cut this out, or cut this short, because otherwise this video is going to be way too long.